Please like and subscribe to the Couch and the Rube YouTube channel. Also download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. It is a beautiful time for Muskox. Cold again, but you know what? I feel great. I look great. Had my Muskox on all yesterday. I was at a sports bar for a little while because I was out of town. Wasn't actually at the MSU game. And had somebody comment on me. A little bartender asked me about the flannel. First time that's happened since the nurse, Jason. So just letting you know that it does tend to happen, even if you look like I look without a Muskox flannel. By the way, more flannel supply added for their end-of-line sales, up to 35% off at gomuskox.com. And, of course, with the Couch and the Rube promo code, $15 off with the promo code Peacock at gomuskox.com. Jason, how you doing, brother?
That's the taint.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for all of that.
It's the American way, except America has gotten soft.
Let's go green, go God.
What's up, buddy? Are you saying you were not at the game?
I was not at the MSU game yesterday. I had a buddy's, a friend of mine's mother passed away, and I was at the funeral Sunday morning in Illinois. So I decided to do that, and
that's a good friend right there.
Really wanted to be there. And so, stopped on the way back and watched the game on my phone and at a sports bar also on the TV there and wrote the quick takes from afar. So that's
gotcha.
Yeah, it was.
I guess you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right? Izzo's not going to call you out.
I don't give a shit.
Where we
guys. Yeah. Well, the other thing is there are moments in life where you realize
our friend's wife died, our mom died. It's like, all right, well, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, there are moments in life you realize you're going to regret being at the game. I would have resented everybody if I had chosen to go to the game.
Did you do it like a tweet, my office for the day?
I did not.
Like it was at a bar?
I did not.
The one time you should do it. To get people talking, like, what's up with Couch?
I did get, I don't want to say roofied.
Huh?
But, yeah. This is,
what else? How else do you say it?
Well, it wasn't
Bill
really
Cosby?
roofied. But the bartender there was,
Pound the bushes.
Look, he's in. It was on the way back in somewhat rural Indiana.
Dragon milk again?
He's working the noon shift on a Sunday. I'm not saying this guy's the most with it. And I asked him originally. I said, "Do you have any NA beers, non-alcoholic?" People know what NA beers are, right? Yeah. It's I drink a lot of NA beers these days. Don't drink a ton. And anyway, he thinks I say IPA. So first of all, we're off on the wrong foot there. He's like telling me about all their IPAs. I'm like, those are all NAs? He goes, oh, NAs. He goes, no, but I do have this like Michelob something, 0 or whatever it is. All right, not my favorite, whatever. I'll do it. So he gives me the first one. I'm watching the game. I've got, AirPods in, got the game on the phone, game up there, all the stuff.
Focusing.
All the stuff. It was
Barkeep.
Good setup.
Yeah.
Drink the first one. He comes by, says, you want another one? Sure, why not? Have a second one. I looked out, and they're real beers. These were not NAs.
Oh, man.
It's not a big deal. It's 2 Michelob Ultras. It's not like it's like 4.2%. Still, like if somebody, this is still alcohol. You should be a little more careful.
If you're 0.004 if a cop pulls you over.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Then he served me the worst cup of coffee I've ever had in my life.
Jesus.
But I won't say the name of the place.
At least they had the game on. That's the only thing that ever concerns me ever going to a bar anymore.
And he put the game on for me right in front of me, and I had the, and it was just slightly ahead of the game on my phone, and it was perfect. It worked out well. So it was
thank
fine.
God.
It was fine. Yeah.
How the guy roofies you with a 4% beer.
Well, yeah.
It
was one of those moments where you realize,
what's up with you and NAs now? Are you trying to quit boozing altogether? I mean, because since I quit drinking about 5 years ago, I've had Corona and NAs. It's just not for, I don't know. I just don't get anything out of it.
I like NAs. I haven't quit drinking altogether, but I was working. I knew I had still like 2+ hours on the road ahead of me. Yeah, I was like, I'm not a great day for just get sloshed.
Hey, barkeep, can I get a 6-pack to go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
Well, you didn't miss a beautiful game, so that doesn't, at least you didn't have to go into the press area after that. I don't know. It didn't seem like Izzo said anything.
Well, and I saw this game way differently than Izzo did, and some of the player comments and all that.
Don't coach my team.
I did not think it was. I didn't think they played great, but I didn't see the issue with it. Like, I thought it was a game.
Well, it's just another slow start.
That wasn't great. But sometimes you have to play the game
playing
in front
from
of you.
behind at half every game.
Not like maybe it's relative to my expectations for this Michigan State team at this point. I see them for what they are. I don't see them as this like automatic turn it on juggernaut, blow everybody out. That takes two to tango for that sort of thing. You need a team that quit. You need a team that's got real deficiencies. If you face a team that just beat Wisconsin by damn near 20 points, and I know they're playing without their second leading scorer, but their second leading scorer wasn't in the Wisconsin game either. So I mean.
Yeah, but it's not about Ohio State.
But
it's about Michigan.
It is about Ohio State in the sense that they were a gritty defensive team with a really determined senior who was tremendous in Bruce Thornton. And sometimes you play the game in front of you. Sometimes things are ugly. You have to figure out a way when things are ugly to win. And this Michigan State team is not going to make everything beautiful. I think we know that, and I thought they did that okay. I didn't think they played that well, but I thought they showed certain characteristics of attributes that you need to have a successful season and occasionally win in the postseason. Will what they did yesterday work in the Sweet 16? Heck no. They'd be in huge trouble. But there could be a second-round game where that's how it looks, or there could be an ugly game, and there could be a Sweet 16 game where it's a little bit higher level or whatever, but you still, some of those attributes, the way Fears played in the second half, I thought was really, really good in terms of getting people involved. I thought there was some really timely stuff from Jordan Scott. Carson Cooper,
he's getting
obviously
30 minutes a game from here on out, right?
In the big games, he will. Yeah. And
so Indiana, Purdue next week or this week,
right? I just didn't think it was that big a deal. It didn't seem to me like I've just seen that game a zillion times covering MSU over the years, and I've seen good MSU teams have trouble in those games, and some MSU teams lose that sort of game. And so I just it's not something that lingers. And I understand you can't stand for less than your best performance, and they should talk about it, and there should be all that stuff. But some of the post-game angst and even the stuff from Izzo that was cranky and team meetings and all that bullshit, like I just didn't. Whatever.
Well, yeah, but that's what we want to hear. At least I want to hear. I know you do. It sounds like you have no thoughts on it really, but I just felt it's just like another. I mean, how many half times do you have to go into where you're trailing, especially at home? It's just frustrating, the shooting woes, and it was a ref show yesterday. I know college refs are ass, but it's just like, by God, let these guys play just a little bit, calling ticky-tack shit. But I didn't think Michigan State, I agree with Izzo. I just didn't think they should have meetings and figure out what's going on here. I like the way Jordan Scott played yesterday, and I hope he's the only hope, I feel. I mean, missing Divine is a big hole, and I think if Jordan Scott can sit there and play 30 minutes, if you got to put him at the point, I think that's huge.
So what do you say in the meeting? What's the what changes who they are, what they do? I mean, that's my question is, Kurtang, make shots.
Yeah.
Start.
When are we going to start doing that, Kerr?
Yeah. I mean,
right.
I don't know. I would tell everybody we were doing a meeting, and then I'd send everybody home and say, get away from it for a day. I would just lie to everybody. You don't need a fucking meeting. That would be my.
Back to the white elephant in the room.
I give everybody.
I don't want to deal with the white elephant.
I give everybody a muskox flannel, make them all feel good, go home, wrap themselves.
Well, it doesn't have to be a grinder meeting or anything like that. You got to make guys run suicides, for an hour. I mean, it's nothing like that, but I think it needs to be talked about. Where you guys want to go? What do you think where do you think you're at right now when you watch these other teams? When I watch the Arizonas and the Dukes and Michigan, it's like I just don't see Michigan State. I mean,
right.
It's just hard to see the future here with Michigan State currently, especially with like I said, Divine out. It's just frustrating.
When I think the games against Purdue and Indiana will be more telling on that front. Like, what do they look like when they go down there in tough environments with adversity and maybe a meeting if those two games don't go well, or one of those games doesn't go well, and you're like, this isn't going to be good enough, right? But there are realities to this team. I think I wrote it after the Wisconsin game. Nothing's changed since then. Like, I think this is a team that can still beat anybody on a given day, but ultimately is not efficient offensively enough, and we see that to the nth degree against Ohio State to make the type of run that I think a lot of people want them to make, and that's just what it is. Now, the importance of winning a game against Ohio State is twofold, and getting through that game is you're still trying to get to a point where you're a 3 seed, which could matter. It depends how the whole thing shakes out, and you could wind up with a bad matchup even as a 4 seed, or even as a 3 seed early, and a team could fall to a 2 that you don't want to mess with, and you'd be better off facing a certain 1. Whatever, that can all happen. But you'd like to get to a 3 seed. I think you take your chances as a 3 seed. And the other thing is, if you want to take the Big Ten tournament seriously, nobody's playing 4 games in 4 days. It's a waste of your time and mine and yours and the fans' time. So if you don't get the double bye, then you're not winning that thing either. So the idea is, can you get to a top 4 seed in the Big Ten tournament, which they're right there, and you had to win this game for that, and can you stay on pace to have a chance to move up to a 3 seed? They're going to have to me, to get to a 3 seed, and obviously it's relative to what happens in front of you, but they'll have to beat both Purdue, I think, probably, and Indiana, or beat one of them in Michigan. And you beat Michigan, that carries a lot of weight, and then who knows? I mean, that's just that would be a huge win. But I just wasn't that. I don't know. I wasn't alarmed at all by yesterday's performance. I thought, if anything, I thought there were some really good characteristics about how they took over that game late, a game that they had struggled with early, and made it theirs. And granted, the last minute was total shit. It was a little dicey, and you don't want that stuff.
But you mentioned 3 seed. I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 seed. You play like you did against Ohio State, and you're not going to do anything. You're going to be out in the first round, so it doesn't matter. That's what I mean. Like, the seeding doesn't matter to me. I want to use the Big Ten tournament for Jordan Scott to get comfortable and ready for 30 minutes a game, because I think he's the hope for the national championship hopes here.
So if you want like a long,
that's why I think some people were panicking about that game.
Yeah, I just don't think this game is any more indicative, of who Michigan State is than some of the games they've looked better. The problem is inconsistency. I do agree on one sense of the Big Ten tournament. We have seen, I guess, we've seen a few good runs in the Big Ten tournament that have also, in years where they made runs in the NCAA tournament. But I think the most, and this team this year is better than the 2015 Michigan State team that made a Final Four. But that team did use the Big Ten tournament to get hot and to get a springboard and get momentum, and that became a thing. And it became a thing in part because Travis Trice and Dawson, but Trice especially, started to find a level that we hadn't seen. And so the question would be, as Jordan Scott continues to grow and have double-digit games, is there another level for him offensively within this year? Does Kurt Tang just catch fire? It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But, is there something that occurs there? And that's you're right. There could be absolute value in that. And again, I'm not when I piss on the Big Ten tournament, I'm not saying you should throw those games. I'm just saying you can't fake desperation and motivation, and there is a difference between a team that really, really wants that. And there will be somebody out there, or somebody who feels like.
But should that be Michigan State? I'm not saying that it should grind to win it, but you should want to have that momentum going into March. And why not want to win that Big Ten tournament? Like you said, you can do a different lineup, kind of figure some things out in that Big Ten tournament with no stress.
And the other thing is, early on in the Big Ten tournament, to a degree, those games do matter. They don't, because there's still time for the selection committee to judge them.
Yeah.
The one thing I just wish the Big Ten tournament ended on Saturday. I wish the whole tournament was relevant to your NCAA tournament seeding. That would mean a lot. Not that they just had sometimes they have, and usually it looks like it wasn't relevant at all based on the way things break, but they often say they have contingency plans for a win at the end. Whatever, that's fine. But usually the Big Ten tournament, like the women's tournament, which is a week earlier, the Big Ten women's tournament is incredibly relevant to seeding because they have a whole week before the selection committee, and I think that's a better deal for the tournament. Now, I'm not saying you want to do it a whole week early. I'm just saying end it Saturday. That would be my way to go. So that whole thing just it would give guys, first of all, it would give teams an extra day of rest. It would pretty much kill the argument of, hey, you're playing too many games, too many days in a row. Everybody would be done by Saturday, even the team that won the whole thing. And you'd also know that championship would have value and weight in the NCAA tournament selection committee. The only thing you lose is the lead into the brackets, which is what they want. And if they want the lead into the brackets, if your championship is about the brackets and the lead into that selection show, then your championship
is a great lead in.
It is, but it's not about being a championship.
Except when you tune in and they have like a 45-minute pregame before they even tell you anything. It's just like, come on. How many years do you think you're going to fool me with that?
There was the worst year with that selection committee was the year they did it over 2 hours and broke it up like every 30 minutes. They did another
like
bracket.
COVID or something, 2020?
Nah, it was
21.
Yeah, they only did it. People got really pissed off. It's like, what
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
I mean, they already get us on some of these games where they tell us the game time. You tune in, there's a 40-minute bullshit, especially with the NFL. But you think you'd learn by now, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I know you had your earbuds in, but Kevin Harlan did the game yesterday.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Harlan.
He's good.
It's the only time, like him or Benetti, is Kevin Harlan underrated? Like, we know he's great, but when I hear him, I just don't hear a lot of people talking about how great Kevin Harlan is.
Well,
I mean, him calling a Coen Carr dunk is, I don't know. I just love the guy. He's the only, because T's been out of town all week, so usually if she's not around, I'll put music on or my earbuds in because I just can't listen to some of these because I just don't give a shit. But Kevin Harlan, I definitely have to pump the volume on the TV.
I listened to the whole game on my phone, and I like him a lot, and I like his energy. His voice never annoys you. I think
great.
I think he is underrated because he's not. But is he? No, who doesn't like Kevin Harlan?
I don't know, but you don't hear him talked about in maybe the top 5 guys, especially now, but in like all time possibly, right? I mean, he's good at multiple sports. I don't know. I just was thinking that yesterday.
He never leaves. I'll tell you this about, like, there are announcers who annoy you. The number one job of an announcer is don't annoy you.
Yeah.
And then after that, be good and enhance the broadcast. But at least don't take away from the whole experience.
But it's like, Noah Eagle. Like, Noah Eagle, he's good, but he looks like a dweeb. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he's terrible, but when you see him when they do the cutaways, like, it's just, Harlan's got the voice. He's just.
Well, Noah Eagle's like 27.
I understand that. I know he's a little Nepo baby, but I'm
well,
just
here's a question for you on nepotism.
Mm-hmm. He's good, though. Noah's good. I'm not saying he sucks, but.
Here's the counter to nepotism. What if you are a Nepo baby, but you are really good? Like, are you not supposed to make it in life?
No, but you have to understand you're going to be called a Nepo
100%,
baby.
yes.
But you are good.
Yeah. Because he is really good.
Yeah.
No Eagle.
It's like Jim Nance. Jim Nance is a legend, but I mean, he gives his tie to he used to give his tie away to the MVP of the national championship game. He does a lot of douchey penis stuff. I mean, he's a legend though. So you can be both, I think.
Like if and I went to broadcast journalism school, right? At Columbia College. Yeah. I have seen a lot of really bad broadcasts. Like No Eagle, maybe a Nepo baby, but like he's really good. And what to do it at that level is very, very difficult. And
But it's like Gus Johnson. Gus Johnson was very good. Everybody enjoyed Gus Johnson 2010 era kind of thing, and then you all of a sudden just become full of yourself and become a weirdo person. So there can be both. Like you would say, Gus Johnson is really good at what he does. If you're just looking at play-by-play, but I'm just saying, if you're looking at play-by-play guys, I mean, he is a guy that was really good. So I don't know. It just makes me laugh with that little hairline Noah Eagle has.
Do you watch any of the USA Hockey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, am I the only one that was kind of excited it was on at 8:30 a?
It's awesome.
Because I get up for CBS Sunday morning with Jane Pauley.
This is why you would love Premier League. It's on every Saturday and Sunday morning for you.
Got to ruin it.
Sorry.
Come on.
Sorry.
This is about the USA.
Yeah.
That's some boring-ass soccer.
So it's the worst thing about this coming World Cup this summer is it's on like American regular time. The best thing about the World Cup and the Olympics is when they're in a time zone that gives you sports at cool hours. You don't usually get it. I hate when we
But it's
host
very
things.
rare. Like I said, yesterday was the only time. If you have other things like the Olympics, it kind of sucked otherwise, like throughout the week of going to watch the primetime knowing that it already happened.
That's true.
So, I mean,
That's
but
true.
yesterday, it was just awesome to watch that, have CBS Sunday morning on at the same time. Man,
I have not. I listened to it. I was driving at the time,
drunk.
and I was on the way. I was not yet drunk, but and
Got roofied by a shitty bartender.
I was listening on the radio, which I don't usually listen to hockey on the radio, but it was really good. It was, and you kept. And the end was, the end I did not hear. I had to watch the highlights later, but it was, it was.
But how do you want to make it political? How can we make it political? Huh?
Well, you have the
like to
FBI
celebrate
director,
it?
FBI director, in the. There you go. Oh man,
it's always everything just has to be ruined by politics.
I'll say there are lots of reasons to think Kash Patel is a douche, right? And but let's not.
Is he a Nepo baby too?
I would just say pick your fights. Like I'm not going to get outraged because some guys, the FBI director who's not a serious person most of the time anyway is in a USA Hockey jersey, celebrating with champagne with USA in the locker room. Like there are a lot. One of the things you have to do in life is pick your outrage. And That ain't it.
Are you talking to yourself into a mirror?
Yeah. I'm pissing people off yesterday.
Oh, no kidding.
I had a tweet somewhere. I can't even remember what it was now.
About how scary Mexico is now.
Oh,
Even though I've been
yeah.
calling that since our wedding in 2022 when Biden was in office. Fuck Mexico. I don't need Mexico anymore.
Well, I don't go to Mexico, period. You ever see Man on Fire with Denzel Washington?
No.
Really good movie. You'd like it.
Shit, I love Denzel, so I have to
Oh my
watch
God!
it.
Oh, I don't want to give away too much. Do you like to go in fresh, or do you like slight spoilers? Okay.
What year did it come out?
Hold on. It is from 2004.
You can spoil it, dude.
Okay,
I had 21 years.
2004.
22.
It's got Dakota Fanning Young in it. She plays a young girl who's kidnapped. And anyway, I don't want to give away the whole thing, but
let me guess. Denzel saves the kid.
It's in Mexico, right? And I, she's blonde. I'm blonde. I've always thought like I would be the type of person who was kidnapped in Mexico. I've never wanted to go. I have zero desire to go. That said, what bothered me about, and there's some scary stuff going on in Mexico. If you're trapped in Puerto Vallarta or something, like I get that. There's there's 4 soccer games canceled yesterday. All sorts of stuff happening. The tennis tournament's still going on today, by the way. But
that might be nerve wracking being at that thing. Jesus.
But my issue is
so you don't go because you think you're going to get kidnapped, the whitest man alive.
Correct. And
it would be obvious of
and my family
the cartel to take you.
Yeah, we don't have the money to get me out, so they just dump my body. Nonetheless,
do you guys like soccer?
It was the blue check marks. It was the glee in which, like, I'm all for good reporting on scary stuff going down there.
Yeah,
it's the tone and glee. The happiness that something bad's happening in Mexico and there's some bad people in Mexico. It's the tone. If somebody has glee in their tweet and they've got a blue check mark, just write them off as somebody who's going to give you reliable stuff. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm saying. That's how I piss some people off. Of that.
The only glee I had is that I was calling it since 2022. I just think Mexico. There's no need for me to go there anymore. I just don't like the feeling that you can get killed or snatched up. It can happen in the United States, but it just for the illegal activities that I enjoy to do on a low level, it's like I just rather not have any of that over my head.
Yeah, Man on Fire did it for me. 2004.
I got to watch that.
It's
Love
very
Denzel.
good. Very good. Very good. Worth doing. At one point, it was like a top.
Very rarely will I take a movie recommendation from you, but
you would like it.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend. Do you have anything else before we get into these lists?
One last thing. Did you see this Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather? Like, are people do they think that we're that stupid? I love Mike Tyson. I love the sport of boxing, but I'm just fed up with them feeding this shit. Like Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, we witnessed it. He can't fight anymore. Like, what do we do? People are actually going to tune in and watch this? What is Netflix paying these guys? Is Mayweather broke now? Did this guy run through all of his money? Because he's talking about not just this thing with Tyson, this exhibition, but after he's done with that, he's talking about fighting again. And it just bums me out. So the sport of boxing is such a great sport, and watching all these like sideshow Bob fucking things they put on, it's just ridiculous.
You know what my theory is with Netflix on these? And I could be wrong. But because Netflix has done NFL football games that have gone okay and some other things now.
Yeah.
But you remember there what was the fight where the buffering was a real problem for Netflix because so many people were on it? I do wonder with some things if Netflix isn't just trying to create an event that tests their technology. They're like, we need to get something a lot of people will tune in for quickly to make sure we can do this shit. Maybe that's it. Because otherwise, why would you do that?
I think it was one of the Jake Paul other fights.
Was it? Yeah.
The Tyson one. Because I think they had it figured out because there was one before Netflix got the NFL playoffs. So they definitely wanted to make sure it didn't happen through that. But it's like, man, I just can't imagine tuning into that. Like, I mean, I don't know. I could see it on a second TV at the house if we remember it's on because it's a spectacle kind of thing. But what are we doing? Are you trying to grow the sport or are we just making a spectacle of the whole? I don't know. Anyway, that was it.
I'm with you. No, I definitely won't pay for it. And now if it's because it's not just gonna be free with Netflix, right? I mean, if it's beyond
Does Netflix have side shit now? We got to pay for extra stuff. I mean, forget about it.
Plus, I have to fund my Big Ten Plus subscription. I can't play that and Netflix. That's not
Big Ten Plus is ass.
Something's got to give here.
Yeah, I'd rather you guys pay for the LSJ.
Fucking Spotify sends me an email. It's going to be another $2 a month. They just got you by the balls. I mean, we're going to say no.
It's incremental increases that they all hit you with. You're like, all right, I'll do 2 more. And then you look at your total.
Yeah, but what's the number going to have to get to? It's at $18.99 for Spotify. I love Spotify. It's amazing that you have a whole library of music, 100%. Anything you think of in your brain. I couldn't imagine if I told myself in 1995 there's going to have this for a fee. I'd be like, I'm paying for it now. I can't wait to get to 2025.
I think the thing you have to do is,
but by God, there's got to be a number where we all just go fuck you and you know.
Well, once a year, it's sort of like once a year, and I try to do this even more than that, but you just go through all your subscriptions. What do you need? What do you not use?
Once a year, month. When I see that freaking some of those charges pop up, I'm like, God damn it. I don't watch any of that. Hulu. I don't even know what I've watched on Hulu in the past year. I've paid $300 for it.
Usually it's French
so
soccer
stupid.
with me. Yeah, I did.
Well, but you use it here and there for some sporting event or something like that. But Netflix, we barely use that because there's nothing more that gives me more anxiety trying to find something on Netflix with the wife. It's just like, they do the pre-roll, they give you like 30 seconds of a preview, or now some of them are like a minute and a half.
Question
like,
on this.
Forget it.
So does your wife, and my wife is impatient with this, so if I don't have it sort of ready with some suggestions, she does not like just scrolling Netflix.
I'm with Elizabeth. I shut it down. I look around, and I'm like, I don't. But it makes something you want to invest 2 hours. I mean, But
here's the problem. It does something to my anxiety. Like, so if I'm not with her, I can find 5 or 6 movies or shows that I think would be interesting for us to watch. If I'm with her and she's over my shoulder and I feel like I'm on the clock, like nothing that pops up is interesting. It's the absolute worst.
Well, with me, I don't have any pressure because I go, is there anything that you want to watch? And she says no. We scroll a little bit. And I go, all right, how about American Pickers? I'm going to go to the History Channel and watch something on there. I don't know. I'm an old guy. Go back to cable. Fuck it. Just put it on something. Because I'm usually watching sports if it's not sports. But for the whole point of this story is that the fact is you just look at your bill and you go, man, I don't even know if we watched Netflix the past 2 months. It's stupid.
If she doesn't make up her mind quick that something's okay, I just put on Mexican soccer. But now the cartels are taking that away. It's not great. It's not great.
How dare they?
Let's dig into these listener takes.
Eric Schultz up first, of course. Number one, 100% the right move to bring Kohler back in with 2 fouls, even after he got his third. He wouldn't have been any more productive in the second, having sat for an hour. But at least by playing him, you give him a chance. And 2, McCullough, Tang, Wojcik, Ward, Carr. Midway through the second half, after you finally seized some momentum, that's a fireable lineup for 80% of coaches in the game. Oh, Jesus, excuse me. 3, if MSU beats Purdue and Indiana, Couch will rightfully be all, I told you so, to those of us questioning this team's ceiling. If they convincingly lose both games, you bet Couch will be all, well, let's wait and see what happens in the tournament.
I hurt myself just laughing. I do hear your voice in my head when I take a shit. So a couple things. Let's do number 1 here first. The auto bench from Izzo when you get 2 fouls and a half is something he usually does. A couple times this year, he's brought somebody back in. I think he did it with Fears once, and there's one other time. So in this game, really quickly, Jackson Kohler, after like 4 rebounds in a couple minutes, picks up a second foul. Michigan State's down 20-14, like 5.5 minutes to go in the half. They're struggling. They're not playing well. He brings Kohler back in, who almost immediately hits a 3, grabs a rebound on the other end, then picks up a foul on a bullshit call. And there are a couple points here. One is Eric is right in like this arbitrary moment of halftime and deciding that's the moment you sit somebody to and start. Like, I understand that too. It feels like a fresh start. It feels like if you get to halftime, then you're likely to get a few minutes in the second half before you pick up a third. And I get that with like soccer betting. You get to halftime, it just feels like, okay. So I get the halftime feeling like something more than an arbitrary line. But also, what he needed from Kohler did. Kohler immediately comes in and hit a 3. They hit he helped get him going a little bit. And so the fact that happened at the end of the first half instead of the second half probably shouldn't matter all that much. The fact that Izzo was pissy about it afterwards and blaming writers for like he did it because first of all, I guarantee you nothing Matt Wenzel or Rico Beard said ever made Izzo make a decision on the bench. But
why don't you write something? Why don't you write something, huh?
There are times where you should bring somebody back in. I think it also matters how the game is going, whether you can live with somebody without somebody. Like I'd be, if you don't have Carson Cooper on your team and you only have Kohler and you can survive a little longer without him, I'd be more inclined to do that. Like, so I think it matters on your roster too and who you have. But
it's also the way the refs are calling the game.
Well, that's the problem
too. I can understand where Izzo doesn't want to bring a guy back if the refs are calling.
Can't trust him.
Ticky-tack shit.
No, you can't trust. And again, the players have to be smarter too if you're one of these main guys, because Kohler's second foul was absurd and it was on him. Like, he's got to not pick up the second one, so the third one's not on the refs. But ultimately, you go to 6 fouls, or you allow one player to get to 6 a game, or you allow some credible replays. Even at halftime, you could not stop a damn thing. And at halftime, you could review first half fouls. And it wouldn't change the free throws. It wouldn't change anything else except the foul number on a player. If there was conclusive evidence something wasn't a foul.
Can you imagine if they do go to 6 and you have to retire that take? Can you imagine?
I'd have to turn to one of my 74 other tired takes. To number 3 from Eric, I agree that like even if they beat Indiana, Purdue, I guess if they do beat Indiana and Purdue decisively or look really good in those games and there's like some momentum to them, then maybe they're showing something that I didn't think was inside them. But I don't know that.
Well, it's the Purdue game.
It is the Purdue game. Well, I like the matchup against Purdue. Yeah, but you're right. If they beat Purdue, Purdue is the sort of team you're going to see in the Sweet 16. And I don't.
I'll start believing
that will tell. And if they don't, it'll just sort of confirm where things are, and that it won't mean they can't beat you on a given day. But the idea that they're going to put something together just seems unlikely.
Maybe next. This MSU basketball team is the best in years at breaking a zone defense. And bonus, I wish more sports had hockey's penalty box rules. No flagrant fouls in basketball. Just 4 minutes of 5-on-4.
That's too long for 5-on-4 because the game. I mean,
yeah, is one player going to sit back like a goalie though? I mean, how would you? I mean, guys can pass the ball really well. Well, especially at the college level, I think.
And they'd have
5-on-4 would be
right. You'd practice it, so you'd be good at it. It's not always easy if you haven't practiced it. So I've played in games where you wind up with this stuff because like you don't have enough guys who show up to a pickup court or something, and it sucks, right? But you're trying to get a run.
Is that what they tell you?
They don't want to hang out with me.
But, no, it's just like we got the white guy couch here, so you guys can have.
I'm usually on the 4 team, but what happens when you're playing with the 5 is everybody's open all the time, and it almost hurts your confidence. It's like, well, who should take the shot? But you'd
if you're a shooter,
practice.
It doesn't matter. You just shoot it.
Yeah, I do think you could do something that, where I don't know, you could get more creative with it. I don't know what the best rule.
I think
would
they have
be.
other problems to worry about before we get to that.
Yeah, but I don't hate it in other sports. The idea of using the penalty box rule. Like think of the NFL. If you certain kind of personal foul, you got to play with one less offensive lineman for a series. I don't know.
Maybe. That'd be great.
Sorry.
Yeah, get guys killed. Max Spade, number 1. That's the best hockey game I've watched since the 90s. 2, MSU's most consistent offense is the elbow jumper. Everyone on the team can make that shot, and no one guards it. Nothing but elbow jumpers for the rest of the season.
Well, it helps against the zone, and they finally did really well, I thought, in that sense.
Oh, I love a good elbow jumper, man.
It is good.
Yeah.
It's underutilized.
We want Coen Carr, baby.
And it's
elbow jumpers.
They do have a lot of guys who make it. I mean, obviously, Kohler made one yesterday, but I think it's Wright and Cooper and Carr's wheelhouse, and I think Tang hits him, and obviously, Fears does, although he's not going to be the guy who's open for that a lot. But yeah, no, it's for this team, it's people talk about the metrics of basketball and sort of, 3-point shooting, dunks, and layups is what you should do these days. That's great if you can hit threes. But if what you do best is what you should do best, and this Michigan State team at times does not hit threes. And I thought, I thought Ohio State gave them some issues there, but and took away that and said hit the mid-range stuff, and they did. And take what's there.
Mark Osterman next. Cooper was throwing shade at Trey with this quote. We're kind of trying to get everything on the table and make sure there's nothing like last year where we might have 1 or 2 guys that have already checked out when the season's still going on. And bake take. Izzo goes all in on a center like he is Graham going after a 15-year-old grocery store barista this offseason. Oh, man. I forgot about that story. After being a player short to really compete multiple times. What the fuck? Let me read this again. After being a player short to really compete multiple times now, this is an offseason. He finally does something of substance about it.
The center position will be interesting this offseason. He's got to do something, right? They just don't have enough there, I don't think. I think there have been a couple years.
The urinal or portal.
This year being one of them. There have been a couple years where not just supplementing the roster you have that you've built the way you like to build it has bit them. And this year more than any year, really. And because I think this year is post-die trying. I don't know that the teams a couple years ago that needed a 5 probably had the right mix anyway at point guard. Maybe they did. I mean, that team in 2023 that lost in the Sweet 16 that got rolling a little bit. That team, the next year they were a little sick of each other. That team, if they had it, I think certainly the shooting guard this year. And so at a certain point, it's a problem if you're not able to go get that person, identify that person, recruit that person. It's sort of like, I know you don't watch a lot of soccer, but if those who do, what's happening in college athletics is very much similar to like European soccer. And you recruit off smaller rosters their best players, and that's the way it works. They get in the portal, you recruit them, so to speak, and there's some very distinct similarities to Mark's first one here about Carson Cooper throwing shade at Trey Holloman, that they were trying to get everything on the table and make sure there's nothing like last year where we might have had one or two guys who were already checked out when the season's still going on. I don't think anybody was checked out. I don't. I really don't. They were playing their asses off. Trey, from what I understand, there was some discussion. Trey Holloman, I think, knew he was possibly going to transfer late in that year. But he didn't look like a guy who wasn't all in against Michigan on that court, right? That's why it fooled everybody so much. I don't think people were checked out. I think they just weren't quite good enough. I do not think anybody was checked out. I've seen teams.
Well, then why would Cooper say that then? Cooper would know more than you.
Yeah, he would. But
so you're saying Carson Cooper's wrong?
No. What I think Cooper is referencing is I think he knows. I think in hindsight they knew, that the guy like Holloman was maybe on his way out. That doesn't mean Holloman wasn't giving everything, and so you can be the wrong verbiage for this thing. That to me did not look like a team where somebody was checked out.
Spartholomew, the bought not built narrative from our fan base needs to stop. We took the same number of transfers, but Dusty went shopping for Gucci while Izzo was in the DVD bin at Walmart.
I love the DVD bin.
Dusty knew what would work with his coaching style, and Izzo still praying for player development. Reality is, both can work with equal amount of program buy-in and elite coaching. And bonus, Ant Wright spent the whole Duke-Michigan game tweeting and bitching about the refs being pro-Duke, makes last week's interview with him even funnier.
He's definitely, up in his feelings on Michigan a little bit, more than he usually is.
He's my veins.
He senses the opportunity this year. Because I've always thought he's a pretty, he's obviously a partial voice, but I've always thought he behaved somewhat impartially, and he's lost a little of that. You're right in that sense that the idea that Izzo doesn't get transfers is just ridiculous. One of them's hurt, who would be a really good player this year, but another one's got hurt during the season, obviously. But he's playing this season with, another burp.
And we said, would somebody please guard somebody?
With several guys that he thought were going to be key or that were at one point in the season. So he's not afraid to go get transfers. What he's afraid of is to get guys who disrupt the makeup of the team. And you're right, he doesn't have to do that. When you're adding one dude, and you do have, when you have guys who are veterans, they can set the tone, especially when they're really good players. And you do have to be careful. What's the guy who went and played at Indiana, the center that cost a couple million a couple years ago, was lazy. But anyway, you want to avoid that guy. You don't want to bring in a guy who doesn't fit, doesn't have a motor, and is making more than your current roster. But that's not what they're going to need next year. What they're going to essentially need is a Carson Cooper type, I think, and that's it. When you look at the rest of the roster, and again, that's not an inexpensive player, but that's a player that probably exists at the mid-major level somewhere, and it's probably it may be close to six-figure level, or seven-figure level, I should say. But that's what guys are making anyway. So it's not like that's way over the boundaries. But you're right on the sense that Dusty's doing it differently. He's getting the mainstays, and Izzo's trying to supplement. The numbers aren't that different.
Jarrett next. Michigan doesn't have a true pro on their roster, and that showed up against Duke. They aren't overall athletic and will have problems against top teams with NBA talent like Arizona. Still, really good college team overall.
Well, Yaxel is probably
he's the NBA.
Yeah, he's
I'm not talking about
lottery
Michigan.
pick, lower lottery, mid-first round. He may not be a great pro, but he's gonna play in the NBA a long time, and they have a couple other guys who will get a look. If you think about, Yaxel's going to go as high as anybody who went off the Michigan State 2000 roster who was a veteran on that team. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of college talent. And maybe they don't have a top 3 pick. That's not getting Kansas a lot of places right now anyway. But, yeah, they've got a roster that works in college.
Chris next. Michigan has the talent to win it all, likely more so than anyone but Zona. The question will be if they have the mentality to win 6 straight. For a team that has rarely been tested this year, I think Saturday during and after the game showed they have a way to go. We'll see if it makes a difference in March. And Baked, as an Arsenal fan, I'd only narrowly prefer an EPL title to a Spuds relegation, only slightly. But I'd give up an FA Cup to see No Hart Lane host championship games next year.
This would be the dream for me. Tottenham Hotspurs, by the way, is my least favorite Premier League team. People say, are you a fan of a Premier League team? I don't have a team. I have one team I hate, and it's Tottenham. And it has to do with a fan bus back in Chicago in 2014, and it's lingered, and it's sort of Tottenham is the ultimate American, hipster fan who picked a team and has chosen to love them. And I just don't like them. And I would love to see them be relegated. They're as close as they've ever been, and they're probably the worst team in the Premier League since the new year. And if you have a Tottenham Hotspurs fan in your life, I would say get them a Muskox flannel because they may need it. It's a cold, lonely world covering championships, the second division soccer there. Go to gomuskox.com. You can use the promo code Peacock and find them something nice, make them feel better.
Here's a flannel. I hate your favorite team, you asshole. David in Lake
or better yet, if you know a Tottenham fan, take their flannel from them. They don't deserve it. That's you one of the two. And I'm sorry,
regift it.
Yeah.
David in Lake Orion, our fan base should retire the scum and Walmart Wolverine trash talk. Beyond it being ridiculously cringe, our largest booster is a Western Bronco dropout who roots for the Spartans. Unless you're prepared to call Greg Williams a Walmart Spartan, just stop. And bonus, hand to God, we tried a nearby Shake Shack in Rochester Hills for the first time because of your pod. Maybe a hot take. Burgers were super solid, but their classic chicken sandwich is perfect. 10 out of 10.
Appreciate you. And appreciate anybody who is, we got some Shake Shack gift cards going out, and also appreciate anybody who's tried the Frandor location brand new or the Shake Shack near them, or if you're in an airport, a lot of Shake Shacks in major airports. I'm telling you won't be disappointed. You can go to shakeshack.com as well. To the first point from David, like there's a lot of this. Like Michigan's largest booster these days, well, the guy who paid for their quarterback, just, he's not at all a Michigan guy. He just married a Michigan person. There's a lot of this stuff, right? You're right. And so you do have to, I don't think you have to go somewhere. Now, Greg Williams and his wife, Dawn, have chosen Michigan State because of the impact MSU has had on them, and they believe MSU has on the community, and they are fans who live in this community, and that's a big reason why that's happened. But right, people are fans for all sorts of reasons. And by the way, if you are a good-looking single person, man or woman, who comes from like Michigan State or any school, I mean, if you really want your team to be successful, your job is to try to marry an older billionaire and convince them. I mean, that's like, don't complain. If you haven't tried that, you're not doing your part. You're right? That's, if you're, I'm just saying that's what worked in Michigan, and just consider that. If it's not working for you anyway, if you haven't found the love of your life, why not marry older and richer and try to help your school?
Adam, if MSU can consistently get Cooper the ball in the elbow and high post like they did on Sunday, that adds a much-needed additional dimension to MSU's shooting. And two, the 2000 and 2004 throwback jerseys that MSU basketball wears are some of the best uniforms in all of sports.
It was interesting.
A little biased, but
Well, watching yesterday, they were in the ones that were like 2004 era, and Coen Carr was wearing a headband, which he doesn't often do. And it reminded, for a minute, I thought it was like Maurice Agger out there. Just you just see guys in certain types of uniforms that were from different eras, and look. I think when you embrace the best laundry you've had, I think it's smart. I hate when people get too like. That's why I hate the neons. The neons never won anything at Michigan State.
Bring those back.
No neons.
Come on, let's go. Professor Jeremy Fears will be under the thumb of every ref the rest of the season, and MSU's hopes rest on his ability to stay on the court. And Baked, peanut butter M&Ms are the best snack to eat by the handful. Popcorn is a close second, but the salt will eventually hurt your lips.
This is a great take from
I take that pain though. Popcorn is my favorite.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
A lot of butter.
I don't like. No, I like the Chicago style. It's the only Chicago food I can actually get behind. Like, I know Detroit kind of makes their style, but the caramel orange pop,
oh, that's so good.
Cheddar, fuck, or whatever it is.
Oh my god, that's
Oh
amazing.
my god, I don't like eating it in public. I like being at home.
So you don't like Chicago style pizza then? You're saying?
No, it's overrated. It's the most overrated. Chicago has the most overrated shit of all time, like food wise.
Interesting.
Portillo's. I like Portillo's, but they think it's like the greatest thing ever there, and it's just
I like
hot dogs with pickles on it and half a tomato. It's like, what are we doing here? But if you put on fucking ketchup, they look at you like you're an ass.
I love ketchup on a hot dog. Yeah, I disagree.
I know. It's just like it's so weird. You grab the what are you putting that on your hot dog? Yeah, MFer. Yeah. I like ketchup on my hot dog.
Peanut butter M&Ms are fantastic, though. The problem I have with them is there are certain things that, like, if you put them in a bowl at a holiday party, I can't stop. Like, Groovy Donuts would be one of those sort of things. If you put Groovy Donuts out somewhere, I'd just be like, all right, that's 7 gram. You need to stop now. But peanut butter M&Ms fall into that category. Not like sweet, the national championship's on. Oh, I can't wait for this. It just happens. I just broke my chair for real. This is not good.
Sparty Barb, number 1, Jeremy Fears is being subjected to discriminatory officiating. 2, if Carson Cooper keeps rolling offensively, so will MSU. And 3, gutsy performance off the bench by Amy Terrain in a much-needed win for MSU women's hoops. And bonus, Connor Helbjak is the Trey Augustine of Team USA.
Couple things here. Good
that
stuff.
guy was standing on his head, am I right?
It was incredible.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like, I still think, we were talking about the best Olympic sports, I still think hockey, when you get great gold medal games, is
dude,
the
hockey
best.
Period.
Yeah,
it's so stupid that I don't watch more of it. I know I say that over and over again on the show, but it's a beautiful sport. Right behind golf.
Is golf your favorite sport to watch? You think?
I just think it's the most beautiful sport out of the sport. Out of all sports, I just think it's the most. It's golf and then hockey right behind it.
And there are sports like, how when you walk up you used to go to Old Tiger Stadium as a kid, and you take the tunnel up and you see like the green grass and it's so beautiful it hurts, that sort of thing. Like, there are moments like the beginning of a good tennis tournament, like beginning of Wimbledon, before the back of the grass has been all roughed up and everything like that. When I see that the first time, I'm like, oh my god, it's just.
Well, yeah, but you were at Wimbledon though.
Well, I'm just saying, even on TV, yeah. Well, yeah, no, being at Wimbledon, it's incredible. But even on TV, like, that's a great. Well, like the Masters, when you see that on TV, the visuals of that, I want to get there. I want to get there one day. It's a bucket list. By the way, Masters.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. No, for 2 reasons.
Hot take, Jason. I fucking know.
You got the bucket list everybody else has. Good for you. The MSU women did have an enormous win at Minnesota. The sort of win that, they're probably, because of that win, going to be a top 4 seed, and even if they don't beat Ohio State at home and host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, that is an enormous win, and that's really cool for them, for the community, to get to see home games in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. It's going to be 9 o'clock
on a Thursday.
They play Friday, Saturday, the first round. So it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday are the first 2 women's rounds. So we'll be all right.
Kurt in Cook County next. I'm a Michigan State graduate, not a member of a cult who rationalizes the bad behavior of anyone affiliated with our alma mater. Feels like I'm at a Trump MAGA rally when I hear Spartans gaslight and spin for Jeremy Fears, who is without question the dirtiest player in college hoops.
I don't know if he's that, but he is somebody who tries to get away with a few things here and there, and has, and I do think a lot of the people sticking up for him are obviously very biased themselves. Like, I love Matt Sheehan. I host an amazing show 5 days a week. We've had him on here, but he is not the bastion of objectivity, right? And so that's he doesn't pretend to be, and so there is, like, I don't believe, like, Fear should not have gotten a foul for his leg going up into the crotch when he was pushed off balance against Ohio State. But I also don't believe 8 out of 10 people's legs fly up into that guy's crotch. Like, that's what I believe. And I could be wrong. I mean, and again, I don't know that he was trying to hit the crotch. I believe he's trying to create contact and he's trying to flail. But,
crotch.
I also don't believe he's the dirtiest player in college hoops. I believe.
Who is?
Why? But I just don't believe he's that. I don't believe he's that dirty. I believe he tries to get away with some things here and there. He pushes the envelope, but I don't.
But if Fears is dirty, so's Mara then. Right.
Well, Mara's had a couple moments now too,
But he's dirty then too. Though.
I don't.
So if
I
you
don't
agree that Fears is you have to say he's the most dirty player. He's the dirtiest player in the game.
Being dirty has to do with intent, right? And so I don't know 100% what either of theirs intent. Like I think Fears' intent is to draw fouls, to get in your head, and sometimes physically he crosses the line doing it. I think I don't know what's in Mara's head, but maybe he's just a goofy, gumpy white guy. That happens too. You big elbows. I used to have friends growing up. You're playing with them. You're like, God, sharp elbows and no control over the limbs. This sucks. And maybe that's him. I don't know.
Every one of those assholes is the reason why I didn't make some of those basketball teams back in the day. That in my .04 grade percentage, whatever it was, GPA. Curtin, I read that. Ashley, the bracket math gets so tricky this time of year. Hoping for a good NCAA tournament draw for the Spartans, and from Corey Ostrom. The 3 seed as of the early seeding reveal isn't as ideal as it was last week for MSU. UConn is the best team in the country by my eyeballs, and they are a 2 seed according to the reveal. Rather play a 1 seed Iowa State.
Yeah, I mean, matchups do matter, and we've seen Michigan State a little bit against UConn, obviously, in that exhibition. Now, both teams were playing a lot of different guys. I'm not sure the game looks the same, and Michigan State in the second half looked a little bit better. But UConn's a scary team. They're one of the teams I think could win it. And you're right. I'd rather, if I were Michigan State, play Iowa State than Connecticut. It's imperfect. I still think you're better off as a 3 seed. You're more likely to face a 6 that you're better than a 5. I mean, the whole thing. But but ultimately you'd have to beat a 1 at some point anyway. So if you beat the 1 in the Sweet 16, does it matter all that much? It's not like it's all over if you get a 4 seed. It's just 3 is probably preferred.
Kurt Wisniewski next. Izzo calling out the media and Rico Beard about playing Kohler with 2 fouls. He needed a red button with "Don't coach my team."
I didn't realize he was talking to Rico at first. He was looking over where Matt Wenzel usually sits, so that's who I thought it was.
Oh, poor
initially.
Matt. Let's just leave him alone for a week.
Let Matt have a week off.
Good
here.
Lord.
Yeah, it's Izzo's friend Mick. Talk. Anyway, yeah, I mean it's yeah. Izzo likes being proven right but it's his choice ultimately. It is his team. He coached his team. He chose to do something different, and as Eric said, it might have been the right call. I wrote about this a little in the quick takes. I think it does prove the point that you can't trust officials. The thing I would do, though, the officiating is not going to change. The 5 fouls is not going to change before the NCAA tournament. The lesson out of that situation to Carson Cooper, who you need on the floor, not Carson Cooper, rather, Jackson Kohler, a guy who had in 17 minutes had almost double-digit rebound, had 9 points, 10 rebounds in 17 minutes, and was plus 15, the best on the team. The lesson to him is, hey, man, that when you don't get a rebound and you get physical with somebody who happened to get the rebound, don't do that, because that second foul then puts you in danger of what happened. You got to be disciplined everywhere else. Chances are, between the officials aren't going to make 5 bad calls on you a game, and I've seen officials ruin games completely. But chances are, if you don't make dumb fouls, if you use your fouls wisely when you have to stop a layup, or you're just playing deep, or you get a dumb call, you're not going to foul out. You have to make sure you don't have dumb fouls. And look, I've covered a couple games, especially when I covered the MAC, and they had some. You think officials are bad in the Big Ten? They get the guys who don't make the Big Ten are doing the MAC on a Saturday and on a Wednesday night, and I've seen them take out the best player with 2 fouls in 5 minutes, and neither of them were fouls. And that's the stuff you got to stop. The Big Ten's not even the reason they need to change the rules. It's the MAC and other levels where, you want to go down to the JUCO level and look at the foul. It's the Big Ten's the best of the best. You think it's ass. The best we have is ass.
People are nuts. I'm not nuts. They're nuts.
The best we have is ass. Andrew Gauthier, number 1, slow starts will doom this MSU team in the tourney. And 2, Carr has so many wide open trailing 3-point opportunities that he doesn't even consider shooting. Can be a weapon there. And 3, skeleton and luge athletes are insane. The only thing between them and a sheet of ice at 70 miles per hour is a spandex bodysuit.
How much money would it cost you to go down a luge track? At the pace they do. Really, really go. What do you mean you get jacked up, you fall off that thing?
Yeah. So my safety is going to be in question.
Correct. So how much money
it's
would
not
it
going to
cost?
be for one of those TV shows where there's some safety net or something?
No. This you could die.
All right, $1 million. $1 million.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say? $500? I get it. Like I can be bought. You know what I mean? But if you're going to ask me a question like that, what am I supposed to say? I mean, honestly, I'd rather do that than some of the. I mean, like what was what's her nuts? They just got hurt. The slalom. Lindsey Vaughn. Like what the stuff those athletes do is crazy. The ski jumpers and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, man, they're all crazy and yeah.
To his point on Coen Carr, though, I do think this is something for Coen Carr to continue to develop that could make a difference. Where he could have obviously you want him running on the break because you want him finishing at the rim, but people are scared of him running. They're getting back with him, and he's going to wind up with open threes and. If it's something he can work on by next year, I don't think it's going to be part of his game this year, but we've seen him hit enough threes that, like, that pull-up three, that's something that they need from Kohler. They need from somebody. They really haven't had it consistently in a while. And the best teams MSU have had that guy who was
Jordan Scott
trailing. Well, and it can be
Let's
Scott,
try it.
But the Kenny Goins of the world and those sort of things. Those guys just walked into three-pointers coming down the break.
The Stan Volchek of Southern Maine next. Fact: Michigan's Yax is older than Chet Holmgren. Best: Jason's comparison of Mick Cronin to Oz's Vern Schillinger is a top 5 moment in the podcast. And also fact: if Jason offered Izzo $50 million to buy top-end transfers, he wouldn't take it. He would rather lose in the Sweet 16 his way than win Dusty May's way.
Yeah, to a degree, I think he won't take somebody.
That's not die trying.
Well, he thinks it does kill your team. He thinks if you get the wrong guy, you're more likely to disrupt what you have going. I think he thinks that's the wrong.
Well, and
move.
that's where I would write it in the contract that I would have some say in that.
Yeah,
if I'm giving $50 million, I get to say something, right?
Yaxel's not that old. He's 23. So
yeah, how old's Chet? I mean, did he come into the NBA when he was 17? Like, what happened here?
Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, are you raising your voice?
They're both 23, but I think Chet's younger slightly. I got this right. Hold on, let me do the date math in my head. Yeah, Chet's younger, so Chet's a little younger than Yaxel, and 23 is not that old. I mean, Hunter Dickinson and AJ Hogard were 20 as freshmen. Neither should have been eligible for freshman of the year. Like if you come in at 20, first of all, you shouldn't be eligible to play high school basketball at 19. It's 19.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, because you're a grown ass man.
Yeah, dude.
It's not right. I mean,
facial hair, nice mustache.
Because there's a certain age, like if we're gonna let 19-year-olds play high school basketball, then let 23-year-olds play high school basketball because you can put on the same amount of muscle mass at 19 as you can 23. It really changes 17, 18. Like I'm sorry, in 19 you're out. You're out.
Bibby next. MSU will have the best backcourt in the conference next year, maybe country. However, Carr transfers because he's replaced by Glenn. And bonus, Izzo doesn't start 2 traditional bigs next year, and it opens up the offense in being a top 10 in the country.
So it'll be interesting next year is you have to think that these are good from Bibby, but that Cam Ward is going to be your starting 4, right, if you're Michigan State. And so you're going to go with, McCullough, Ethan Taylor, the freshman coming in, and then somebody else. And I do think you'll see some use of one of those guys at the 4. But I also think you'll see, with Caleb Glenn and Carr both there, I think one of those guys will be playing at the 4 and you get smaller at times. And I think, he's on to something here that it could help them just because, where I think Izzo struggles sometimes lineup-wise is, he buys in, and this year it's worked with 2 bigs.
Don't coach my team.
But he buys into, okay, these are my best 5, or I have too many bigs. There have been years where the year where Miles Bridges played the 3 when he was a better 4, right? Because they had all these bigs, and Miles Bridges wanted to play the 3 because that's where he's going to be in the NBA. Like that wasn't great. And I think next year his best 5 though will help him. His best 5 is going to include Cam Ward. It's going to include Coen Carr and Caleb Glenn, and so that forces you to play small. And I think that'll be a good lineup. Now to do that though, you have to have a legitimate 5 that allows you defensively to hold up. And so is Taylor ready for that? Will McCulloch be that? You're going to have to bring somebody in, to be at least a role player and somebody can, handle some size and defend and rebound. So that'll be interesting to watch. The idea that Carr would transfer, I think they can work those two. I don't see Coen Carr transferring. I think a lot of these guys, especially if you're Coen Carr, and there's very few people I enjoy talking with more than Coen Carr that I've covered at Michigan State. I think he's just a really nice kid, but he's a really perceptive kid. And you see that at Moneyball. He understands the show he's there for. You see how he deals with fans there. I think he's just genuinely a good dude. And there, you can get fooled by a lot of people, but I genuinely think he is. And I also think he understands like what it does to Trey Holloman to leave and what it does to your, he has a chance to be, he's going to be beloved forever at Michigan State, even if he's never the greatest player in the world. You play 4 years someplace, you're that kind of dunker, you bring that kind of thrills, you're that kind of personality to people. I would be very surprised if he leaves. And I also think that the Caleb Glenn situation next year, because it'll be Glenn's first year back, it'll almost help. I think Glenn will be okay coming off the bench. It'll be Cam Ward and Coen Carr with Glenn as the first guy off the bench at either spot, and he'll play a ton of minutes, and it'll work. It'll be his first year back. He's got 2 years left of eligibility. I think that's how they'll try to do it. I would be surprised if, they'll pay Coen Carr a decent amount to stay. They've stuck by him. Izzo has smartly said things like,
it'll be a cold day in hell before I give up on Coen Carr.
I would be very surprised if he leaves.
Corey Ostrom, MSU cannot play like it did yesterday again this season, even against Rutgers. Turnovers and poor defense are killing this team, and the closest thing MSU has to a bucket getter is freshman Jordan Scott. Fears has to probe the lane to start offense or movement becomes stagnant.
Yeah, and Fears did a really good job in the second half of creating for other people by probing the lane. He didn't do as well in the first half. Like, I thought it was one of his best efforts, finding guys on the wing, dishing it underneath. Like, he really created. It wasn't just, Fears has had some days where he has 10 assists, but 6 of them are off a pick and roll dish to a guy who hits a three or, something any point guard can really do. Yesterday in the second half, I thought all 4 of his assists were like real assists that deserved credit. They'll beat Rutgers if they play like that yesterday. They're fine, but they're going to have to shoot better to beat good teams, and they're going to have to start better, I think, to beat good teams. Although they started poorly against Michigan, they've started poorly against some teams and taken leads in the second half. But to get where they want to go, they're going to have to be better than they were yesterday. There's no doubt.
Reality-based Spartan next. Number 1, sometimes shit doesn't work out the way it's planned. It doesn't mean you as a big mouth fan want it more than the coaches because you have the benefit of hindsight. And 2, if it was any other team than Michigan, the hand-wringing wouldn't be nearly as bad.
This has a lot to do with it.
I'm not talking about Michigan.
Everything is relative, and it's happened in football too, right? Michigan wins a national title. The team that Michigan State fans hate almost as much as they love their own team is winning at a different level. And so that drives people insane. That happens in every rivalry. You talk about Tottenham and Arsenal, and we got another listener talking about that coming up. Like, what would you prefer? Like, it is...
Oh, what a tease.
Yeah, stick around. But the rivalries that are fierce and intense, sometimes there are things you'd rather see somebody lose and your own team win. I don't believe that's the case with Michigan State, but I do think this. I think people would rather, if it was a round in the NCAA tournament, if you said to a Michigan State fan, you can win and you can get to the Elite Eight, but Michigan wins a national title, or you can get to the Sweet 16, but Michigan loses in the championship game, they would 100% take Michigan losing one round before winning it all and go one round less. Like, so there are degrees.
Don't steal that, Ebling.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Rob's got a long show ahead coming up today after ours. Let's take a really quick break. When we come back, we'll get into more of your takes. Our Monday show presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels.
Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask and Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with 1 awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask and Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at gomuskox.com, where Couch and the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com. If you're looking for a relaxed vibe, great food, and an outstanding beer selection, Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing is your place. Enjoy their famed chicken and waffle fries, fish and chips, or any of their delicious burgers or salads. Midtown Brewing Company also offers 40-plus beers on tap, including ciders and seasonal offerings and daily happy hour specials. The spacious and cozy vibe makes Midtown Brewing Company a perfect place for a beer with a friend, a work lunch, or to watch the games on its big screen TVs. If you'd rather eat at home, Midtown Brewing Company offers a terrific carryout menu and free delivery on orders of $20 or more. Visit MidtownBrewingCompany.net or stop by 402 South Washington in downtown Lansing for the Midtown Brewing Company experience.
Please like and subscribe to the Couch and the Rube YouTube channel. Also, download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
Couch in the Rube, our Monday show presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. Go to gomuskox.com. Check out end-of-line flannels. They've got some great deals there, big percentages off, up to 35% off on some classics, some favorites that are headed out, have had their run. Some of these are absolutely fantastic. Also, they have hats and tees as well. Gomuskox.com. And if you're ordering a flannel, use the promo code PEACOCK for $15 off. Jason, Matt Drollet with his AI cartoons just struck again. It's Life on the Road with Graham, and it's me just having a beer in Indiana with Bill Cosby. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, absolutely wonderful.
Job, Matt.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Richard Kane next. Number one, this Michigan team is historic. Ha ha ha. Not even close. Just like the Fab Five, they haven't won squat. One of the favorites, sure, but even if they win, it won't constitute something historic like any of the 7 undefeated champs. MSU's most watched win in 1979 or UCLA's run. And 2, Kohler's third foul wasn't chintzy. It was a flat-out miscall. Hence Izzo's 2-foul rule because officials can't be trusted. Hashtag college refs our ass.
Yeah, I mean we got into that. It was a bad call, but yeah, this is why coaches struggle with it, because they like to have some control over things, and it's not like you can just trust the player, right? You know the official is somebody you can't trust. And again, whether halftime should be this arbitrary line in which you choose to bring somebody back in is debatable. In terms of where this Michigan team, like, they win a national title, it's a big freaking deal. Nobody in the Big Ten has done it since MSU in 2000. It's just very, very hard to do. Michigan hasn't done it since '89. The Fab Five didn't even do that. But it is. You're right. It won't be like some absolutely historic season, but it would be an absolutely huge deal. And the Duke game showed that there are teams out there, and I think we knew this probably, that are of their equal, and that'll. Arizona's up there as well. Houston might be. UConn. It's a really good year in college basketball, and so I still think Michigan's chances of winning a national title are less than 30%, because I think there are a number of teams out there that are as good as they are, or at least in that ballpark.
Jonathan Smith's burner next. Number 1, Sunday's MSU Ohio State game was the worst officiating I've seen this year. And 2, not a hot take, but Bruce Thornton is an effing dog. And bonus, the Izzone chanting "get a job" is the whitest shit of all time.
Well, if the shoe fits, I mean, is that what they were chanting? Get a job to who?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
The couch is the whitest shit of all time. What do you mean? Number 2 is the Izzone.
I am not whiter than
You're
the
whiter
Izzone.
than the Izzone.
I am not whiter
You
than
are.
the Izzone. No way.
Yeah,
The Izzone even let you with a Kangol hat in 1997 into the Izzone, right?
That was a long time ago, though.
I'm sorry, but if you've ever worn a Kangol hat, even if you shouldn't have been wearing a Kangol hat, you're not as white as the Izzone. The Izzone is whiter, by far.
Original Dark Antonio. Duke will be helped slightly. Michigan dinged slightly. But that was just a good showcase for college basketball to get us hyped for March Madness.
So I have a different take. I didn't love it. And it worked. Like I don't like non-conference games once conference basketball starts, usually. I didn't like the Georgetown game against MSU. I think it's unnatural. Like if you're competing, you dive into conference play, and for 2 months your goal is about built around conference, and that's your motivation, and all of a sudden you step out and it's different. It doesn't fit the same intensity. It worked though this weekend because you had 4 teams, or like the top 4 teams in college basketball. So that was really cool. The thing I didn't like about it, and I may be alone on this, and I'm not saying it was the worst thing in the world. One of the things I love about the NCAA tournament, and it's not that you never have rematches, but I love the intrigue of a matchup, of not knowing what Duke versus Michigan will look like. And now I'm not, like, I think it was good for Michigan to see what that is, and good for, but like now we've seen that game. Not that I don't want to see it again, because it's a great game, but
So you want to see it again?
But yeah, but part of me I would rather see something for the first time in the NCAA tournament in the Final Four. That's what I'm saying.
Well, Jesus.
Yeah.
You're asking for too much.
Maybe I am.
Good Lord. Waymo believer, no matter the sport or who the coach is, Michigan always finds a way to be the most unlikable team. Yaxel is such a P word post-game. What's a P word?
Is that just penis? I think. Yeah.
Penis word?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good penis.
Yeah. I mean, they come across a little smug here and there, and they don't come across as overly, I don't know. Yeah. Yaxel's definitely got his, but, I think people would feel that way about Fears if you were the shoe was on the other foot, or a lot of other teams. When you really dislike a team, it is easy to find the people you dislike on those teams. I mean, it's really easy. Like you think about Ben Johnson, for example, the coach for the Bears. He was really easy to like, and then became really easy to unlike. And it's sort of it has to do with the team you root for.
David Jackson, number 1, MSU's now modest Big Ten regular season aspirations are now absolutely dependent on winning in Mackey. And 2, MSU women beat Minnesota on the road. Check out the performance of spark plug Kennedy Blair. Led team with 37 minutes played, 6 from 9 from the floor, 6 for 6 free throw shooting, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals, and 18 points. If not for too many turnovers, that's an All-American performance.
No, it's incredible, and it's very much remnants of Ariel Powers in the sense of the type of numbers she's putting up at times, including the turnovers at times. But her story is amazing. She's a sophomore who was barely played last year. She was a bit player. I mean, she had a role. She was in the rotation most nights. But it's incredible to see what her story is great, and I think it probably needs to be well told this year because it's just it is. And given the Theron Halleck injury and she's the fact that she was so ready to do this, and she was even when Halleck was going to be a part of things, I think has been an incredible story.
I Fear Fears next. The best closing lineup by far looks like Fears, Tang, Scott, Kohler, and Coop. Spacing is so much better along with overall offense. That is if Kerr Tang is hitting shots.
You can argue that for sure, and and I think Coen Carr is going without Coen Carr, one of the bigs in certain lineups is probably your best way to go. The key with Kohler is he spaces as well. If you have Kohler, Scott, and Tang on the floor together, you've got 3 guys that people are going to pay attention to. I still think, I don't know. I still think a determined Coen Carr is important, but Tang, Scott, and Kohler is a nice trio for sure. They obviously need Tang to hit shots, but it does space the floor well.
Money bag next. Yaxel laughing and refusing to credit Boozer reminded me of Joe Milton with Antoine Simmons. Shocking he acted like a jackass again less than a week after Dusty and the Detroit media made sure everyone knows he's such a saint that he doesn't even swear. And bonus, we should enjoy Scott while we can. Next year might be his last in EL.
So two things here from Moneybag. When you say the Detroit media made sure, was it the Michigan media? Like, was it Michigan fan media, or was it Detroit media that made sure that and bought into that? And maybe it was. I just didn't read it. Because there are a lot of people, again, if you're in this because you love Michigan and so you're working for a site so you can cover Michigan, that's not really, don't listen to that.
It was John U. Bacon.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Or anybody who works for, Go Blow Love or On Three Wolvies and whatever it is. It's the same with Michigan State. Like, I love Comp. But Comp is not objective. He's not, and he's never going to be, and doesn't claim to be. It's Spartan Mag. It's Spartan. It's in the title, right? It is what it is. We should all enjoy Jordan Scott while we can. Next year might be his last in East Lansing. It's very possible. I mean, he's going to have to shoot and probably handle the ball better than he does now, because what they'll want from him at the next level are things he doesn't do a ton of yet to become a great prospect. But certainly he's got a chance to be that kind of player. And if he has a great year next year with next year's roster that allows that to happen, then celebrate it, because that's going to be a really good team probably.
Maddie B next. Number 1, I need Dusty May to look through Graham ASAP. I should have just tolerated the Matt Painter love. And 2, please examine the offense in the offseason. There's not enough creation ability when there isn't an open shot. Take the best players without worrying about over-recruiting if available. This is professional basketball now with NIL. Earn the spot. And bonus, it's nice to be a Michigan player where all your coach has to do is say he really didn't mean it, and everyone forgets about it.
I feel like Maddie speaks for a lot of MSU fans with that. That's the way. Maybe Izzo should just use that saying. He really didn't mean it. Just stick with it. Just always, it's sort of like
years.
Well, yeah, you know how Rasheed Wallace used to say both teams play hard. Just have that be the standing statement. He really didn't mean it, and see how far it goes. I like Matt Painter. I cannot lie. It's
Cockburn.
Yeah.
Jimbo Jones, hot take. MSU loses twice to Michigan during the regular season. The powers that be arrogantly think it would be funny to put them in the same bracket as MSU, but it's tough to beat someone 3 times in a row. MSU puts up a dogfight and sends off a number 1 seed early.
So
half-baked,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
I mean, we've seen this historically. The Illinois team that Michigan beat in '89, right, was a great Illinois team, better Illinois team than Michigan. Had thumped them in the regular season finale at Chrysler, I believe. And it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Now, there are exceptions to that. And we've seen that with matchups. We've seen that with Michigan State, Michigan, where I'm not sure Michigan State, Michigan in 2018 was ever going to go Michigan State's way. A year later, 3 times Michigan State won that. So it is hard to beat somebody 3 times in a row, but you have to have the players and the horses, and the matchup has to work to some degree. I think we'll have a much better understanding about Michigan State's ability to do that if they were to meet again after the game in Ann Arbor, win or lose. If whether they are close enough, because nothing. After the game at Breslin says they can't get it done on a given night. But, I think we'll have a better sense in about a week and a half or 2 weeks.
Travis Maynard next. I agree, Couch. Officiating is hard. So is reading. But the game has passed refs by. It's 2026. There's no reason we can't have a replay crew on cameras immediately reversing incorrect calls in seconds. Poor officiating shouldn't make games this hard to enjoy. I could do it.
It seems like it could be done quickly.
Yeah, give me a headset. Yeah. I'll wear a headset. I'll watch the game out in Ovid.
And there are some judgment calls, but again, this is why you go to 6 fouls. Or this is why my favorite idea is you have 1 player a game who can have 6 fouls. And what I mean is you're not designating that player beforehand, but it's like, you just knowing that allows you to play a guy with 3 fouls or play a guy with 2 fouls, because if that, you're not likely to have 2 guys in that sort of extreme foul trouble. You're not likely to have 2 guys foul out. And just with that comfort of your first guy gets there, or if it's not a great player who gets there, if you got Madi Sissoko gets to 5 fouls, and you've got Jeremy Fears with 3 early in the second half, you're like, all right, Madi, you're out. We're gonna hold that for somebody else. But it would give you that option, and I think it would take away a lot of getting top players off the floor if you at least had 1 player who could get to 6.
Jay Riemenschneider next. Some writers and podcasters are saying Mackey Arena was the loudest venue they've ever heard during the Michigan game. But from TV, it sure seemed like Breslin was much louder when Michigan was there. Maybe you just got to be there.
I've been at both places where the decimal is just unbelievable. It is so hard to compare these things. A lot of times you're a prisoner of the moment, and I've written it and screwed this up where you're like, never heard it this loud, or it's one of the, but you have. You just forget it because in the moment it feels loud. I think they're both pretty comparable at their best. Mackey has been a house of horrors. It can be a really tough place to play. It has to do with where the students are, I think, in both arenas. But yeah, it's. I think at their best, they're both right up there.
Scott, you next. Number 1, Jordan Scott is rounding into form as an offensive player now since starting, and it's just in time. He still does all the defensive and game-impacting plays with tip balls and rebounds. And 2, what are your recommendations for restaurants, bars after the game, and things to do around town in West Lafayette?
Well, I would say, first of all, keep in mind that like everything around there closes at 1 p.m. It's hard to get beer afterwards. Or 1 a.m., I should say, not 1 p.m.
I was about to say, what kind of town is this?
There's a place called Nine Irish Brothers. That's a good Irish place that they have a couple I don't even know if they have 2 locations still, but there's I would say Nine Irish Brothers, good spot, good beer. I've hung out there a few times once with Brad Hoos from Muskox. Had a really good drink with him. Solari has been as drunk as I've ever seen him there. Serenading people.
Graham.
So it's a good place. Nine Irish Brothers would be the maybe you run into me and Brad Hoos. I do not.
You didn't grab any video?
Yeah. Where are your Muskox?
Damn. Yeah. So Solari was doing what? Karaoke?
I was not on this trip. I've just heard about. Well, actually, I was. I've seen him drunk there, but I've only seen the videos of it. And so there is.
So you do have video?
I don't have the video.
No, such a liar.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, caught my own web of lies here, as Costanza would say. But like, I've seen the video. I do not own the video. I've seen the video of Solari, or in photos. I've definitely seen it on this particular trip, and it was epic.
Yeah. Neurotic Pants. Being able to outlast your opponents is valuable, but not if they get too big of a lead. And bonus, Tom Izzo is the most Italian man in Michigan. Is that possible? Is he?
Yeah, he's he's not the most Youper man. People in the UP would outdo him. He feels like the most Youper man.
Hey, I'm the biggest Youper there.
Yeah, he is fairly Italian, but there's got to be people who beat him. He's the most omnipresent Italian man in Michigan. Yeah.
Ken Chu, Walled Lake, Michigan's Connor Helbuck was dominant in the gold medal game. On Friday, while he played in the semifinal, his brother Chris was competing in the Bassmaster Open on Sam Rayburn Reservoir in Texas. Hashtag hockey's life. Hashtag fishing is life.
Appreciate you, Ken Chu. Good stuff.
Damn.
Good stuff. Yeah.
I can't get anything by Ken Chu.
No. Absolutely. Not especially the Bassmaster.
Bassmaster Open.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
sick. Todd Truesdell next. Number 1, the USA Hockey Celebration video in the locker room was amazing. What a win. And 2, congrats, Jacob Bridgman. I played with him in the Rocket Pro-Am last year. Great guy.
Wow, that's pretty cool, Todd.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Are you doing it this year?
Name drop.
Can you can I be your caddy for this year?
Would you want to play in a Pro-Am, or do you rather caddy?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah.
No. I enjoy my bubble with golf is great. I don't need to be playing in any shit like that. My anxiety would be brutal. I have no idea how those guys do it. And shout out to Jacob Bridgman. I had Norm put a little money on him at plus 750 after the second round. Was it the second or middle of third round? Something like that. Saved the weekend, broke even. So I guess it technically counts that Norm's golf bets 3 for 3. We did end up cashing, broke straight even after I did all the calculations last night. So sometimes you got to throw a live bet if nothing else is happening in these. But the golf grind continues.
No, I would not. For years, I used to turn down golf outings because I did not want to be on the first tee in front of people. That was my fear.
But if you're good, I can understand. Like
100%. If
you're not in your head, like I don't know how Bridgman won that shit yesterday. I mean, he left a putt short. I mean, he had one shot lead with 2 guys posted at 17 under already finished, and you have Tiger and everybody staring at you for an approach, and you leave.
But if it was
putt
you,
short,
but if it was you and you were in a golf outing and there were like 30 people standing around the first green, would you want to hit or not putt? Well, you want to tee off.
Tee off. I mean, if it's just an outing and we're having a good time, and it's not like I don't know, it's not in a professional environment. I don't give a shit. shit.
I don't love it.
I mean, it's just when people,
trees.
Well, if people are standing in your sight line in the lanes there down the fairway, I mean, I would be nervous I was going to kill somebody. But anyway, Todd, that must be nice to be that good. Hasia, BVB, America, hell yes. USA Hockey. And from Frank Vancer, how many people were sobbing uncontrollably after the USA won the gold medal in hockey on Sunday?
Wow.
I think just Cash Patel. I mean, I don't know if I was sobbing uncontrollably.
He seemed happy. I don't know if he was sobbing.
Yeah, that was the beer.
Yeah. No, it was a cool win. It was
Dan Patrick had a question today on his show this morning. Would you rather win a Stanley Cup or a gold medal in hockey?
Probably depends on the person, right?
I mean, I don't know. I would say Stanley Cup.
Yeah, same here.
Right?
And it's weird how the Olympics are done. And Grant, I'm grateful they're over. I mean, I was sick of Chicago PD not having new episodes. All these shows taking, I didn't like the usual halftime show from Premier League having the host over in Italy, and so I'm glad the Olympics are over. But they go quick. All that stuff for 2 weeks. It just seems like a lot for a little.
Munfield keg between USA Hockey and Arsenal, the Spurs. My attention was elsewhere on Sunday, and I didn't watch 1 second of MSU hoops, which is something that never would have happened in years past. Hot take. This isn't a good sign for college sports, and this kind of thing is probably happening with other people too.
I try to tell this. I have a couple friends I debate this stuff with, but I do think there is more than anecdotal evidence probably out there that people are slightly less into it. And I raise my hand. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to watch Michigan State no matter what.
Correct.
For other games.
Most of the time, you're not going to feel it. But how often do you watch other stuff? Do you watch other games less? I watch other games a lot less than I used to. And, I'm less into the overall sport than I used to be. And same with college football. And I think it's a problem. I think it will show itself. And it's just, you're going to see ratings in the playoffs. You can see ratings from the NCAA tournament that are going to be great, and people are going to counter that. But it's not something that's hitting you right now. And there are reasons it counters it. And the way ratings are judged and all the streaming, and we get into this stuff, and I get it. I'm telling you, in 20 years, I do not think the Detroit Free Press, Lansing State Journal, Detroit News, well, I don't know if the Free Press and News will exist together in 20 years, but I don't think there will be writers covering those teams on the road the way we do now, because I do not think there will be the readership that exists today in 20 years for those things. I don't think there will be a show like this in 20 years. I mean, Jason and I will be dead, but for most people, I don't think there will be enough of an audience to. I think there's a real chance that the college sports is going to be in a severe decline by then.
67 years old. Oh,
don't talk about that.
Oh, man. I'm good with that.
I'm not.
That's all I need. Another 20. Big John Hogg, number 1, the 3-footer after leaving one short is the most nerve-wracking putt there is. And 2, Izzo's been on a heater this season. Ripping you guys about the auto bench was hilarious. And 3, I've been a Tottenham hot Spurs fan for 15 years. Been to London to see them multiple times. Why is my fandom gatekept, Graham?
It's not gatekept. If it's genuine, it's genuine. It's real. You know if it's real. Only you know if it's real. And if it's real and it came from a place that makes, I guess
don't let Couch bully.
It doesn't have to make sense.
Let him say his dumb take, and then just keep watching.
Just has to be real. And that if as long as it's real and it's not conjured up, I don't believe. And I could be wrong on this, but I don't believe fandom can really be a choice. Fandom is something that takes over you, right? And so I have trouble with the adult American who chooses to be a fan of a team and then claims that they are passionately, and maybe they can do that. Maybe you can get your head around that place. I could never do it. I don't understand it. And as long as it's genuine eventually, then I'm not here to gatekeep. I'm just saying I couldn't do it. And I'm envious because that's great. I would love to be a fan of a Premier League team. I would love to have it happen. But I can't choose a team and say I'm a fan. You have to be a fan. You have to care. And you can't care. That stuff has to be real.
Are you raising your voice at me?
Claire, welcome center rest stop next. Arne Slot. Liverpool manager is complete shit. His title last year was the same as George Seifert's Super Bowl. On the coattails of the true talent, Slot's team is boring and doesn't score, doesn't defend, doesn't tackle, and about ran off an ATG in Salah. Fuck Slot forever. And bonus, I'm looking to add a food outlet. Please make an intro to Groovy Donuts for me.
Groovy Donuts, the Claire Welcome Center. That would change the way we did going up north. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, I forget it. It's an actual rest stop talking.
Yes,
it's not a person.
Yes, so Groovy Donuts at the Claire rest stop would be incredible. I would love that.
Competing smells.
Oh, would
be tough for Groovy Donuts to compete.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Well, I also think Sala
smells like a friggin' Potter Park Zoo at some of those rest stops. Man,
not the ultimate team player, and he's ultimately losing a little bit of his step. So there's that too. I think there's some mixed stuff with what's going on in Liverpool, but I loved what Slot did a year ago. I love that team, and they did not look the same. There's no question.
Robert Graham can tell all of the MAC basketball stories he wants, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
Especially if they involve a certain post player with a piss-poor attitude who thankfully transferred out and baked. Higher than a giraffe's ass might be the best phrase ever.
You talking about Matt Stainbrook? Maybe I'm trying to think of the Mac.
I think he's talking about your boy Ant Wright.
No, he wasn't. I don't think. I think he's talking about Stainbrook. Robert's a WMU guy, so I like Stainbrook. He was a fun player to watch. Real fun player to watch.
I just automatically think people are talking about Ant Wright now.
No, that's not. Yeah,
no matter what. Yeah. PZ, 3 straight national TV games for the Pistons. I used to pray for times like this. And bonus, new Tigers alternate uniforms are fantastic.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't mind. Whatever. If you want to wear them, cool. I mean, I like the classics. Yeah. Cade Cunningham, you going to win MVP?
No, I don't think so.
Fuck.
But the best chance he has.
Not?
Well, the best chance he has is you need SGA to keep missing games and wind up with fewer than 65 wins or 65 games played, because then he can't win the MVP. That's what you need.
How many has he missed though? I think
he's missed a bunch.
Out.
He's
out of the running.
No, he's not out of the running yet. He would
look at that. Look it up.
Okay, hold on one second.
My 50-1 bet here. Come on.
All right, hold on. So SGA is played this year in. Absolutely. I mean, fucking everybody masturbates. Sorry, these stats.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, well. So he's played in 49 games, and how many games have the Thunder played?
Hold on.
Hold on. No. At this point,
I'm so sorry.
We're fucking in this. At this point, we're in. I'll raise my voice.
Are you raising your voice at me?
So they have played 58 games. So he's missed 9. He can miss up to 17 and still win it. And they've got, but they've got 30.
Yeah,
so I don't know. He could. They've got what 30. 24
give
to
Cade the
go.
MVP. Come on, it's a great story in the East. Come on.
I think
it's a great story in basketball. Come on. Ben Jen, 3-on-3 isn't hockey. It's an exhibition. Completely fraudulent way to decide a gold medal. It's like if USA Basketball went 1-on-1 in overtime to decide the gold medal. Took the 60 minutes of on the edge of your seat passion and turned it into a farce.
Do you like the 3-on-3 hockey at the end?
I enjoyed it, but I'm not a purist. Like, I would trust a purist, Boston Rob. I'll ask him after the show what he thinks. But guys like that, I'll listen to that because I thought it was great. But, I mean, if it's not the same, I don't want to have a stand on it for a guy that's not into hockey like that. So,
yeah, no, I understand the frustration with it. It doesn't feel.
I got to say, I had fun watching it.
It's not the same sport. You're right.
Dave Lakin, I'm sure Denton Wojcik is a great Division II college player. His last season at Harvard, he averaged 2.5 points in 15 minutes per game. In Division I, if you're not a threat, you're a liability. A different solution at backup point is needed.
Well, it starts with Denham over Denton. That would be the way to go with that too. But
Denton.
It's not a perfect. It's not a perfect.
You put
solution.
that in here.
I didn't. Well, I didn't. But I didn't edit it.
Don't blame Dave.
No, Dave put that. I didn't edit it. I let it.
I know. Don't blame Dave.
Well, why edit it? Why should I fix Dave's mistakes?
Because then I don't sound like an asshole. I said Denton.
Dave sounds like an asshole. Not
no,
you.
I sound like an asshole because I didn't see Denton. I could have proofread it.
I didn't want you to. I wanted you to read Denton for Dave.
I always throws these grenades in here. I'm trying to read for 2 fucking hours. And Couch can't help me here.
Denton. Look, it's not the perfect solution at backup point guard, but I don't know if there is one, and maybe there is. Maybe it is Jordan Scott, and maybe they think that's not what they're planning though. And like it or not, it's not going to happen.
Scotty Green's El Camino, we stink. Start a game looking like dudes at the Y on offense, finishing around the rim like we have opposable thumbs. Don't even get me started on our end of game management. This MSU team will do nothing this year and win nothing. And bonus, the USA Hockey Gold Medal game will age like fine wine. Really Miracle on Ice 2.0. got outplayed and looked like they didn't belong most of the game. Kudos to Hellbuck, standing on his head, and fuck McKenna. Total choke job. Enjoy your stuffed animal.
I don't think it's Miracle on Ice because, back then it was such a – first of all, there was all the political climate of U.S. versus Russia. The Russians were – you didn't have pros, right? You had these basic college kids versus these Russians who, in these days would have all played in the NHL.
Senior.
Yeah, it was –
These guys were nuts, man.
That was different, but it's still a very cool game. It was not Miracle on Ice. People aren't going to – this would be a big game, but I don't think – people of a different generation – talk about where they were when the Miracle on Ice thing happened. It's one of those things. It's like 9/11, but good.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? This is not quite that.
Never forget. Rug and Tub next. Number 1, MSU season is not as good as we think. We lost every big game, and we played, including Michigan, and to it, a couple of ugly losses that should have not happened, Wisconsin and Minnesota, and should have lost to Rutgers. Our biggest wins, North Carolina and Arkansas, aren't as good as they looked. And 2, I'm one missed open 3 away from losing my mind. I'm sending Izzo your unwarmed up muskox 25-footer and forcing him to add you on as a walk-on addition in bonus. Graham hits the title shot, gives Izzo his second, and takes over as MSU basketball coach, only to get fired after 1 year for going 3-31.
I probably would get fired after the next year because I would get too in love with JUCO guys. I'd have a bunch of guys who actually turned out to be MAC level players that I overpaid. How did this happen? I would be a bad evaluator of talent in that sense. Going to the first part though, that North Carolina team until they lost Caleb was a really good team, and Arkansas I still think is has an outside chance of being a Final Four dark horse. I think those are really good wins, and Kentucky's gotten better. Kentucky was a mess at the time, and there's no question that some of those early wins were against teams that weren't in a great place, although North Carolina had been playing well, and Arkansas was really good. Michigan State is a team, when they get going, I'm forgetting the opposing coach who talked about this most recently, but he was talking about when they get going, when they're in their element of rebound, run, go, and they get in a rhythm, they're as good as anybody, and you have to take them out of that. And, I think that happened a lot in those games. And so, I still think that exists within Michigan State. But the season not being as good as you think, they're 22-5 at this point? That's still a really good season. They're 12-3 or something in the Big Ten. That's a really good season. I think we go back to the previous commenter that said everything being relative to Michigan, I think, is also messing with this a little bit. In terms of what's good and what's not.
Blogu Boner next. Michigan losing to Duke only guarantees they win the Natty this year. And bonus, if Jackson can find his shot more consistently again, I don't hate this team's ceiling, just don't see it as a national title.
They do need him to be, he's really a 1-3 a game guy right now, and they need him to be 2+. And that makes a difference. It really, he was consistently 2 and 3 and 4 occasionally, and that's kind of gone away.
MSU Realist next. You know what I think MSU needs on this team that Izzo's been lacking as of recently. Some criminals. We used to have killers on our team. Bring back the Applings, Bridges, and others of the world. Also, can Izzo tell guys it's okay to take shots? Enough pass.
Yeah.
Well, those guys didn't commit crimes till after.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
so it was kind of,
right. You didn't know it was coming. Yes,
yeah,
that's the key.
Didn't know the key thing.
Yeah, you want people who are killers in the way Magic and Isaiah and Bird were killers. They would
not like Aaron Hernandez or OJ.
Correct. Different level of killer. You want somebody who would kill their mom to win a game, but not kill their wife for
Well, it depends on how good you are. If you take good with the bad. Couch on fire. Nice MSU basketball Sunday. Those complaining men keep falling behind but still win. Hello. What the fuck? Bonus. USA Olympic hockey.
Hello. Yeah, awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. USA Olympic hockey. Women and men beating the Goliath of hockey. What a sweet USA day.
Was it? Yeah.
What the fuck?
Sorry. No, we just screwed the hello threw you off.
Hello.
It's
that's my bad. Finally, no. Jake Hawkins.
Yeah, sorry. That's not the last one. Originally, Jake was going to be the last one, and I just put Hans underneath him. Sorry.
This fucking guy.
Sorry.
Ouch.
Sorry.
Jake Hawkins, number 1. Congrats to millennials, Generation Z, and Alpha. Alpha? What's the Alpha generation?
What is? Hold on.
Alpha?
What is the Alpha generation? Let me look that up.
Well, let me finish. I'll finish this. We got to witness our miracle on ice yesterday as generations before us. Congratulations to Team USA for winning the gold. Great game in epic classic fashion. Still can't believe it was played so early in the morning over here. Got it?
So Alpha is 2010 to 24. It's like the really youngins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Worst generation. 2, what a slobber knocker of a basketball game it was yesterday. Sure looked like it was going to be the same result when certain opposing teams playing MSU cut off the head of the snake, putting them in a hole. Thank God for Carson Cooper, Jackson Kohler. Jackson Kohler, come on, man, get it together. 3, Breaking Bad is an absolute great show and one of my all-time favorites, but it's not above The Sopranos. Both shows are listed as 1A and 1B in my book, and I'd also rank Tony Soprano slightly above Walter White. And P.S. Keep the Bears in Chicago. Do not move to Indiana.
It would be such a mistake to go to Indiana.
Come on, Hawk. This is the best story.
You want
I forgot to
Indiana.
make this one of my Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have Bears fans in my life. Not, sorry, Dominic, but my in-laws.
It would be closer to here for people. But yeah, it's just, don't do that. Don't do it. Chicago. Don't let them,
Can you imagine if they moved Ford Field to fucking Indiana?
Or Canada would be more the equivalent.
I would, yeah.
It'd be like in Windsor.
I'd hop on a rocket and get out of here if that happened.
Yeah.
And every Bears fans seem to okay with it. Like, what are you going to do?
I don't know if they are. I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I'll be interested what Dominic thinks about this.
Finally, from Hans Jurgent. Number 1. You said the MSU women were done after an injury to their point guard, yet they are still winning games on the road. Stay in your lane, bro. 2, Fears needs to take over starting in the first half instead of the second. And 3, Cooper should never dribble. Dunks and mid-range jumpers only. Hell yeah. Bonus, I fear Jesse McCullough has Xavier Booker no motor disease.
I don't think that's McCullough's problem. I've seen him, even in short stretches. I don't think that'll be his issue. Is he quick enough defensively? Are there I think Jesse McCullough is going to be a really good player. And, I think he'll be absolutely fine. Only jumpers for Carson Cooper. No pick and roll dunks.
We want dunks.
Oh, dunks and mid-range jumpers. Yeah. Sorry. Dunks in. Good stuff from everybody. We appreciate you producing our show as always. We appreciate, of course, our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. Go muskox.com. And they've got some end-of-line flannels as well as tees, hats. Great new flannel offerings as well. And if you go to gomuskox.com, remember, Peacock is the Couch in the Roob promo for Couch in the Roob listeners for $15 off your Muskox flannel purchase. We'll be back Wednesday, and I'll figure out the rest of the week from there. But appreciate you. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roob.